Hello everyone, my name is Kiran and today we are going to talk about roles and responsibilities of a tester. So let's learn about yet another day in a tester's life. So if you have joined a company, a new company, and you want to understand what all activities you need to do as a tester or what daily routine you have to follow, so we'll talk about that. First of all, you have to understand the business flow of the product you're going to work on. It depends, you're working in a service-based company or a product-based company, but you need to understand the project which you're going to work. So you have to know and properly have a hands-on the application which you're going to test. So understanding the business flow, it depends which domain the project belongs to, be it an e-commerce, financial project, or you're working for a healthcare domain or an airline domain, or probably a telecom domain. So you have to learn, if at all you are new to the domain, you need to learn about the domain, because each and every domain are different in their own ways, and you have to learn the technicalities of them to become a better and a good tester of that domain. So once you are well aware of the domain knowledge and then you understand the business flow of your own project, you have to also check the existing document repository in your company. So based on the project which you're working on, the company might already be having the test cases or some diagrams, flowchart, or your feature specifications for the application which you're working on. So you have to check them, you have to understand them, and then when you get a good hands-on and hold on the project, you have to move forward with writing the test plan. Writing test plan will only be applicable if you are a senior tester. If you are very new, you're a fresher, you have just joined the testing field, you might only be asked to read and go through the test plan initially, but you must always know how to write a test plan being a tester. So you have to read or create the test plan, which is the first few steps of your STLC, which we had discussed already. So once you know about your test plan, which contains a lot of pointers including the scope of testing, the tools which you're going to use in your entire testing process, the people who are going to be a part of your testing journey, your manager, your manual testers, automation testers, ETL testers, your performance tester. So the role will be divided. And then you also have your milestones mentioned, the timelines when you're going to deliver, what all deliverables you're going to submit as a part of the testing activities, what all documentation you will be submitting as a part of the testing process. So everything is mentioned in the test plan document. Then you also need to know about the environment details and the credentials. So let's take an example of a project, a banking application. So if you are trying to test a banking application, if you are a banker, you need to have a different login. If you're a user, you need to have a different login. If you're an admin, financial admin, you need to have a different login. So you need to know all the different credentials for testing, and at the same time you have to know the roles, which the admin has different access, different privileges, and the end user might not have all the other privileges. So as a tester, you have to understand and distinguish the usages of the different roles and the accesses which you get. After knowing and understanding the environment details and credentials on which you're going to do the test, you have to actually start designing the test cases. Now this is the most important phases of testing, designing or writing test cases, wherein you need to have your test case sheet or any tool, test management tool, if you're using for creating test cases, let's say TestRail, or you're using Jira for uploading the test cases. There are different plugins in Jira like Zypher, which is used for writing test cases, TestRail. Then we have Azure DevOps, wherein we write test cases. So you can also maintain your test cases in your normal Excel sheets, but How to write a test case, we will talk about in the next video. But then here you have to understand that what we are doing, we are writing test cases for our application. After test cases are complete, you have written all the test cases, you have to execute them. So once the environment is ready, the setup is ready for testing, you have to execute the test cases based on the priorities and the business needs. So if it is a smoke testing you have to perform, you have to execute only the smoke test cases, or if you're performing any regression, any changes, then you have to do the regression test case execution. So once the test cases are executed, then you might also get bugs or find out defects in the system, which you have to raise. You have to properly raise the defects and manage the defects as well. So you have to raise them on any tool. Let's say if you're using Jira, you'll be raising them on the Jira, and then we'll be assigning it to the concerned developer. The developers will be fixing it. You have to keep a track on the progress and the condition and the status of your bug. So you have to do that, managing your bugs. And then if there are any changes in the system, you have to perform regression testing. So regression is performed to make sure that any new changes which has been incorporated in the application has not affected the already running software. So you have already tested till here and everything was working fine. If there is any change, then you have to make sure that you do regression to make sure that this new change has not affected your already running software. So these are the major roles of a tester, a day-to-day activity which a tester needs to do. He needs to understand the business flow. He needs to read and create documents related to the application. He needs to create test plan. He needs to understand the environment details and the credentials which he's going to work on. He needs to write test cases. He needs to execute test cases, raise bugs, manage the bugs, perform regression testing, write automation test cases, run the automated test cases, submit test reports. So you can just get an idea on what usually a tester do on a day-to-day life. Thank you.